Well. Your biggest social media accounts that spew all of the anti-American and anti-black sentiments, all on X, formerly known as Twitter, happen to be accounts from foreign entities. And who did not see this coming? And we're going to talk about all this next on Next Culture. Let's get it.
We gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no.
Welcome back to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark. And today we're going to talk about a story that has cut right into the intersection of social media, culture, and politics, y'all. That's right. We're talking about these social media accounts today. And before I get started, if you could do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get all the updates. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about X's new location feature. Yes, the one that just exposed a bunch of prominent U.S. quote-unquote political commentary accounts. These accounts have been based far outside the U.S. And it has some ripple effects, big. So let's jump into this story, because I know a lot of you probably haven't heard about this yet. So here's the setup. X, formerly known as Twitter, launched a new transparency tool. It's a location feature that displays, for many accounts, the country or region from where they operate. Now, there has been a long time online where people have thought that a lot of these accounts were from foreign entities and troll farms in Nigeria, Ghana. Some of them have already been exposed. But what's interesting, shortly after this rollout, it was multiple high-profile pro-Trump or MAGA commentary accounts were flagged as not being based in the U.S. The same was done for a lot of these anti-black or accounts that love to try to use the 13% of the population commits 50% of the crime, all that garbage. So these accounts have been flagged. So what appeared to be, these influencers in the United States or commentators, they turned out to have location tags showing foreign bases. Elon's company X itself acknowledged that the feature isn't perfect, that there are accuracy issues and some accounts may not have updated their settings. But the revelation stirred up a major reaction with a lot of different people. You're probably saying, why does that matter? But because in this instance, for years, digital influence campaigns, foreign actors, proxy communications, these things have always operated in a gray zone. And I think this location feature has shown a light on this gray zone. It really has. So we get a lot of reactions online, social media users, obviously journalists, commentators, people who have gone after these digital blackface people. It erupted. Some called it a smoking gun for foreign influence in the U.S. online political discourse. Others pressed back. And, you have some people saying, wait a minute. Hold on. This doesn't automatically mean they bad faith. Just because I live in Malaysia doesn't mean that I'm not a supporter of President Trump, even though I've never been to the United States. please don't flag me because I love Trump and I'm in some village in Nigeria or Lagos. I'm in the capital of Lagos in some troll farm getting paid, money to spew hate. I'm not a bad actor, right? But then you get people who will support the feature and they argue if somebody is posing as a domestic U.S. voice, but they appear to be abroad, then that's a transparency issue. If a large following or influence is perceived by local authenticity, but the origin is foreign, that changes the ethics. And they also, I say ethics of influence, right? If you got a lot of people from outside of the United States who are posing and acting as if they're Americans and they are commenting and, trying to use different vernaculars, especially the ones who have the anti-black or they always want to talk about black issues. We don't have to worry about people walking around putting makeup on their faces anymore. Walking around with blackface. We got digital blackface because all they got to do is not show their faces. Some of them have gold grills in their mouth and all this other stuff. And then they come online and say some of the most heinous stuff. A lot of it dug into, especially for black Americans, it dug into the gender wars between black women and black men. And then you find out that, these accounts that have been spewing all of this stuff to try to divide black folks down the middle, especially black American men and women. A lot of these dating accounts happen to be from Australia and Eastern Asia. And then you turn to what does that do for like in the job market? Guess what? You got a lot of that digital blackface going on in the job market too, where people are posing and acting as if they are in the United States or they're here in the United States, and then you find out they're in some place in Southeast India. But on the flip side of this, though, right? Critics warn, these false positives, mislabeling, and the risk of punishing legitimate international voices. But I don't think nobody's really arguing that fact. But even though some people, I've seen articles of people talking about that, because you're not posing as if you are an Englishman or an East Indian in India who has an opinion about U.S. politics or, black American culture issues. You are posing as if you are part of either the culture or that you're American. And they want to look at the location feature and say that, Elon stuff is behind and all that stuff. Nah. I think what this means is that this isn't just about one feature or, one platform. Because I think, you see it on Facebook too. A lot of this AI stuff is being generated for clicks and views. And if you make content, then that these people are being paid to post this stuff. So we don't have to worry about, Russian collusion in a sense, because we got digital blackface all over these social media accounts. And what does that do for not just X, but all the other digital platforms? Because this ain't just about a feature or one platform, right? This ain't just about X and all the hate and stuff that's being spewed over there. It's about trust. It's about authenticity. It's about digital identity. And it's also about who gets to shape the online political narratives, because a lot of this stuff is being spewed and it's hateful rhetoric, and it's having people act up. What if they found out a couple of years ago when a guy ended up at a pizzeria in Washington, D.C., He got arrested. But you know why he went to the pizzeria and got arrested? Because he drove all the way from North Carolina with an AR-15, and he was going to go expose Hillary Clinton's, I guess, a brothel at a pizzeria, because he read something online that she was trafficking young girls through a pizzeria in Washington, D.C. So this man showed up with a gun, thinking that he was going to find this stuff, and ended up getting arrested. Things like that. How many of these people who have committed these mass killings and mass shootings, how many of them were following rhetoric from accounts online? That we always talk about, these lone wolves being radicalized online. Well, guess what? When you got people doing digital blackface, these people can be influenced online. Excuse me. So let's unpack it a little deeper here. You got U.S. digital influence, foreign actors. They've been using their platforms to influence our elections. They've been using it to sway opinions, amplify certain narratives. Like I said, you get the pizza thing, right? And this cuts right at the cloth of visibility and authenticity. And when you got an account, and that account presents itself as being a domestic voice, even subtly implying things, we're local, well, are you, or saying things like our or we, to gain trust. That's what they do, and the more people start following these accounts, the more trust they get. You perceive that if they got a blue check next to their name, they either are verified, right? So you thinking that they are maybe authentic. And then you find out that all these accounts that you've been following are from some person in Nigeria, Australia, Eastern Asia, China. It makes you look like a fool. And then that trust is compromised, because now you're looking like, well, dang, all the stuff I've been following ain't been true. You think? And what is the end goal here? Because it seems like everybody has all these countries are doing this stuff to socially engineer us, to get us to stay divided on every single topic, whether it's politics, gender, sports, race, ethnicity, all these things. They're doing this stuff to keep us divided. Now, is this, are there governments involved in doing this? Or these are just regular little people who are just doing this so they can get paid, because they know that, harboring these views or spewing these views online is good for payment? We don't know. But you also could look at this about the platform itself. So when you got X introducing tools like this, and it's supposed to be a transparency tool, could it be misused? Could who's responsible for the accuracy issues? Because some of these people say that this stuff is not truly accurate. But I think we need more transparency. We need more than just a flag. These people have been doing this stuff online, and there needs to be some consequences, whether these accounts are taken down and stopped or whatever. Because it's causing a lot of hate and discontent and political discourse that it doesn't need to. And for creators like us, like myself, this is a reminder that, platform setting matters. Where you are located at, how you present yourself, how you identify, how the followers interpret your origin. If they're listening to you, all this stuff impacts like trust and influence. It impacts all this stuff. And then with the rise of AI out here, this adds a different layer into this digital world, this metaverse that we actually operate in. You'll be hard pressed to look at it any other way, really. Because whether you're a creator, a consumer of this content, or someone interested in media, you want to know if the things that you're listening to are from actual people who actually are from the same area where you from. Because your location, your identity, your voice, all that stuff feeds into your credibility. And when you are building an audience, your context, who you are, where you are, all that stuff matters. Because it's not about cynicism, right? It means asking, before I like this comment, before I subscribe to this channel, before I follow this account, who's behind this account? Like, where are they located? What are they operating? What's the goal here? Because a location tag isn't everything, but it is a data point. And if you just, subscribe to the content and you just follow the people, I think tools like this are steps towards like transparency, but it ain't a full solution. Like, all these platforms need stuff like this. And there needs to be some policies, especially for these US-born companies, tech companies. There need to be some policies made. There need to be some enforcement, and there need to be some context behind all this. All of them should be going to Congress sometime in January to have to explain about why are all these foreign-born accounts spewing a bunch of hatred in the United States political arena. So how do we build digital trust in a world where influence crosses borders, right? I think that's the key takeaway. Location features on X, they seem like a small tweak, but it's a window into something much bigger. It's about identity, authenticity. It's about control of the narrative, and it's about digital influence in the 21st century. It really is. If you're wondering whether big name commentary accounts are what they are, and you wondering whether the people that you see with all these followers are actually legitimate, you're not alone. And this is the kind of feature that starts peeling back those layers. We find out a lot of these people are bad actors out here. We find out that a lot of these people have a lot of it has been talked about for years. There's been people online, saying that a lot of these accounts are, fraudulent. Tariq Nasheed said some things about it when it deals with, these anti-black accounts, like the one with Ian Miles Chung and all these people who love to talk about black folks. You find out this man lives in Malaysia, never been to the United States. And then you go to the political side and you're talking about all these MAGA accounts, and then you find out they from East Asia, India, Australia, and they using, different words, Black Barbie, MAGA voice, all these stuff. And you find out there's some troll farm overseas. And a lot of it is being exposed now. And then you're seeing a lot of, X got a lot of porn on it. So a lot of these accounts are coming out of Africa. They out here black facing and stealing people's identities. It's a lot of stuff going on with this social media that location feature that X got now that is causing a lot. I love to see TikTok. I love to see Threads. I love to see Instagram. I love to see all of these people the locations show where you are located at. And then we'll finally see what is really going on out here. And then quite possibly for Americans, since we always are divided on a bunch of issues, perhaps we'll find out that we got a lot more in common, because it seems to be a conscious effort to destroy America, whether it's from the inside out or the outside in. And we have to wonder what is going on in the world where everybody wants to be a bad actor and to continue to continue to destroy and change narratives and stoke hatred and fuel these wars, these digital wars and these political wars inside of our country. Like, what is the end goal here? That's what we all should be thinking about. Because it is a concerted effort to keep us divided. And that should scare all of us. Now, I want to hear from you guys. If y'all been on X and y'all seen this location tagging thing, did it surprise you? Do you think it's enough in transparency? And I guess my biggest question is, now that this feature is out there, and you're following accounts that you find out are from overseas, does that mean that you trust that commentary or the things that you've been reading? Does it put it in a different perspective for you because these people are not based in the United States? I love to hear from you guys on these topics. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. Yes, I'm in the United States. This is not digital blackface. I'm in the United States. And until next time, Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.